Hey everyone, it's Margie Walden from Peace of Mind, and I'm here today with you to do a video on how to make soy candles. What does this have to do with firearms or firearm safety? Absolutely nothing. So I'm not creating a new YouTube channel for this type of thing. So I just thought I'd throw it out there because I do make soy candles and they are spectacular, and everybody always asks me how to do it. So I have a little PDF, but I also figured today I'm making some candles. Might do a quick video just for a demo to explain to you guys all how super simple it is to make soy candles. So I get all my product from Southern Sensation Candles in Taylor, Michigan. They actually have a website, and it is www.greatcandle.com. So Taylor, Michigan and Telegraph, they do ship and will deliver, but all you shopping internet suave people, I'm sure you can find all of the things that I'm going to speak to you about today online. So I buy the 415 soy wax. I buy it in 50-pound bulk, and basically what I end up doing is I measure it out. I spend one evening and I get it all in 2.5-pound bags. So you're going to need to zero out, obviously, your scale. I usually use one of these larger size measuring cups, because then that way if it's hanging over the side I still get a really good solid measurement. But I do 2.5-pound increments. So again, you're going to want to zero out. So you'll put your bag on there when it's empty, zero that out first, and then put 2.5 pounds of wax in per bag. Normally I use 5 pounds of wax to 8 ounces of scent. You can do 2.5 pounds to 4. That'll get you around 6 or 7 candles, but I usually make around a case, but I get 13 if I pour right. So for 13 candles, I use 5 pounds of wax, 8 ounces of scent. And you can buy it in that increment right from the store, so you don't have to buy it in bulk like I am. But if you do decide to measure it, you're going to need a scale and some of those Ziploc baggies to store it in or something. The other thing you might want to consider getting is one of these cheese graters, specifically for your candle making, because it'll help you to shred your color scent. So the things you're going to want to initially invest in is a Presto pot. You're going to want a pouring pot. You can use a measuring cup if you like. I'd recommend the glass one. Not a big fan of the plastic ones. I think the glass ones clean up a little bit easier. But you can catch these at Hobby Lobby. Use that 40% off coupon. You can get them at Michael's. You can get these online as well. They sell them at the candle store. You're going to pay a little bit more. Same deal with the Presto pot. You can buy that at Walmart. You can probably catch those online a little bit cheaper, right around 22 bucks. You buy it at the candle store, you're going to spend a little bit more. You're going to want to invest in some silicone adhesive. And again, buy this. I would recommend getting it somewhere like at Lowe's. It's going to be a little bit cheaper for you. And they do sell it at the candle store. You're going to need to buy some clothespins to set your wicks, and I'll show you how to do that here in a second. And then I use a straw to set the wicks, and so basically what I'll show you. So initially you're going to want to buy your glass jars. You can buy 8 ounces or 4 ounces. So again, 5 pounds of wax to 8 ounces of scent will get you right around 13 candles. And so what I do is I buy all of my candle jars in bulk as well. So I think when you get to that 10 cases is the threshold where you get a little bit of a discount. And so you're going to want jars, lids, wicks, you're going to want color, you're going to want a scent, and you're going to want some soy. So I'll take the adhesive and I take my wick, I cut a straw a little bit larger, a little bit longer than the size of the jar that I'm going to use, and then I'll just pull that nice and taut through the straw, and then I add a little bit of adhesive, no more than a pea size, so you can see that it's not a lot, and then I just kind of eyeball it and I splat it down inside the jar, kind of push down on with the straw, and then I just lift the straw up and the wicks are set. You're going to want to do that the day before at least. So a lot of times when I buy them, like I said, I buy 10 cases at a time. I'll just sit there and watch television one night and just set my wicks so they're done, and then one night I'll measure out the wax so it's done, and then when I'm ready to make a case of candles, All I gotta do is grab 2 bags of wax, grab 13 of my jars. Now they do make the jars in 8-ounce increments and then in 4-ounce. They sell the jelly jars and the mason jars, and pretty much this is a 4-ounce mason jar, and then this is an 8-ounce jelly jar, but they make them both in both increment sizes. So that you'll be able to get right at the store there. And you're gonna want a thermometer. I use a digital one. And you're gonna want this Presto pot. I usually set my Presto pot right around 250 or 260, and then you're gonna heat your wax up to right around 167, and then you're gonna shut it off or pull that cord. Keep in mind that wax does combust at a certain temperature, so you don't want to leave your wax unattended. If you do go over that 170, it's okay, it's not a big deal. A couple times I went up to 190, got distracted on a phone call or something, and then went a little bit high. So just let it come back down to 170, because before you pour your scent or do your color, you want it at 170. There is somewhat of a chemistry to that. And so again, you can buy your scents in 4 ounces, 8 ounces, and even 16 ounces. But for me, convenience, I always buy an 8 because I always usually do 13, candles at a time. Sometimes if I'm doing my French vanilla with coffee, I'll do 2 4-ounces because then I just equal parts, that equals 8. But again, depending on how many you want to make, that's up to you. You can buy all that from the store and have it shipped right to you if you want to just try it out. Heat that wax to 167. It's going to continue to heat up to right around 170. That's when you're going to pour your scent, and then you're going to also add your color. So you can add your color using this little cheese grater if you want, and just kind of grate it off. If you're doing like a red, I would recommend putting like a piece of paper towel down, and then you're going to want to get some of these popsicle sticks. So when you're stirring, you can just drop the color off, see how the color turns out to when it gets to that point. If you're looking for a dark red, for instance, or you can kind of gauge it like that based on how it turns out on the white of the paper towel. So I buy the wax color. I think it's a lot less messier than that liquid color. Again, that's your preference. But you don't need the cheese grater. You can simply use just a little paring knife if you want to just grade your color off. And again, kind of stirring it with that popsicle stick. Just drop it out there to see what kind of color until you get to the color that you desire. And pretty much that's it. So you heat your wax up, 170 is where your magic point is. I normally will have all of my clothespins preset. And so basically my wicks are going to be preset. And they make wick holders, and this is just an easy way to do this. I use the diamond clothespins. The only place I've been able to find them is at Lowe's. So basically through the center of the clothespin there, that little circle there, you're going to put your wick through there, and then you're going to pull it straight up, nice and taut, and then straight over, and then you're just going to kind of open that clothespin up. And I'm not able to do it with such leverage as I will be able to on the table, so I'm going to demonstrate here for you. Now it's nice and tight. You want to make sure that your wick is kind of straight, and if it gets a little bit off after you pour, you just kind of gauge it a little bit back and forth if you need to make any necessary adjustments. And then once your scent and your color is added, you're simply just stir that, make sure that it's nice and consistent throughout, and then you're going to let it cool till you pour. I pour between 100 and 120 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's what works best for me. Then you're going to let your candles set overnight and cure and set up. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come in and remove your wick setters or clothespins. You're going to cut your wick to right around 1/4. And then if necessary, you can hit the tops of those to smooth them out if you like with your heating tool here, heat gun. And basically, that'll smooth it out for you if you're looking for that smooth finish. But the key here is pouring right around 120 or below. You won't get a lot of the divots and things like that in the top of your candle. You shouldn't anyways. Sometimes I still do. There's a couple here that I did the other day that they look like craters hit them. Maybe an asteroid came in when I was sleeping, knocked those out. The other thing you're going to want to do is buy some lids. So they make pewter colored lids, they make the gold colored lids, and then they make the kind of like a brass finish there. It's like a nickel. You can see those. And so depending on the color of candle you want and the color of lids, you know, you can get as creative as you want. They make labels that you can buy at Staples. You can buy them online, obviously, too. And it'll cover the entire lid there for the mason jars or the 8-ounce jelly jars. And you can put pictures on them. You can rename your candles. So, you know, we could do like Gunsmoke and Recoil and Pew Pew. So if you want to get creative, you can use the same scent name that you actually purchase. So some of my favorites are, my very favorites, probably this Cozy Cabin in the Strawberry Sorbet is really nice. I also like the Sun-Dried Cotton. It smells like a nice fresh laundry soap, which is really nice. I like Cinnamon Snap. I do that one a lot. I do Southern Apple Pie. It's a really nice scent. And then my husband's favorite, I mix this French vanilla with this fresh coffee. So I do half and half, and it kind of gives it that, it's like a vanilla latte, fresh coffee scent. It smells really good. So heat, again, to 170, pour between 120 and below, no less than 100. I'd stick between 100 and 120. You're going to want a pouring pot, Presto pot, and then when you pour, there is a little bit of science to pouring. If you pour too slow, it's like milk, it's going to spill all over. If you pour too juice or something, if you pour too quick, it's going to get nasty too. So the better you pour and the less waste you have, the more candles you're going to get. So again, this was just 2.5 pounds with 4 ounces of scent because I just wanted to do it for the demonstration. And then if I need to readjust those wicks, make sure they're set it up straight, not all crooked. Pour that. Let it set up overnight. Come in, cut your wicks to right around 1/4 inch and tell whoever you're giving them to, that's where they want to keep it to. You can use the lids to extinguish your candles, which is nice because then they won't leave that smoke. And then just tell them to trim the wicks after they burn them. These things will burn for probably around at least 12 hours straight. So, and they are soy, and I promise they're just as good, if not better than Yankee candles. A lot of people love my candles, and they often want to know how to make them, and so henceforth, that's why I'm doing this video for you guys today. This one should have been a 4 ouncer probably, but because I kind of went a little bit high on these, but I probably could have got 7 out of there if I wasn't in such a hurry to do this. But I think you guys get the idea. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Again, really not much to do with firearms, but I am armed and trying out this new sticky holster, and I really like it a lot. I appendix carry, so not crazy about the material that it's made of. It's pretty durable, but it's not quite a sturdy leather, but nonetheless it's very comfortable, as long as you're not going to be doing a lot of things where I suppose that you know, would be digging into that trigger. It's got some pretty good trigger protection in it, but it is super comfortable. I like it because it actually is super easy to be able to grab my gun and get it out. And the holster itself is not secured by anything. It's just simply in there. So I think that's very comfortable for me. I like it. I like it a lot. It's easy to conceal. You can't hardly tell that I'm not printing at all. You can't tell that and it's comfortable. So would I recommend it for, you know, long-term use? I don't know. I'm gonna have to play with it and wear it for like a month to see how much this material is going to give. So it's definitely not as durable as that MJ4, I think it's called. I just recently bought. That's a high durable leather, but super duper comfortable. So I like that. And I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope that you all have a very Merry Christmas, blessed and Happy New Year, and that you all stay safe and you enjoy this video. And if anybody would like, I did make a trifold for this because I often do fundraisers for different venues, mostly the animal shelter, which I need to do one this year again, in which you get the candle lesson, You come in, you make a case of candles, and then you go home with 6, and you donate 6, and they sell them at the animal shelter. So with that, you get a trifold, you get the lesson, you get to enjoy my company and entertainment, and you get to contribute to a really good cause. So all about saving the animals and those kind of causes, veterans, military, and police. So hopefully you all have a very blessed, safe Christmas, New Year. God bless you all and your families. Peace out. Thank you for watching.